Hello, my name's Heather and you are watching Heather the Nomad, and today is my first video. Yes, I know it's awful, and you may be asking yourself, how can she call herself Heather the Nomad when she's still in one place? And that's because every journey starts with a beginning, and I want to document everything, the beginning and the rest of it, and wherever that may go. And so I just like to tell the story about how I arrived here with as little backstory as possible and not get in too deep here because this is my first video. So my name is Heather. I live in Northern California. I was born and raised here, but lived in Seattle, Washington for 20 years where my children were born, my adult children. I have a son and a daughter who are both married, and I have 2 grandchildren who I adore. And I have always loved camping. As a kid, our father used to take us camping at the Russian River, lots of different places, different drives, and I just love the idea of living on the road. And one year when my sister and I were in elementary school for summer vacation, my parents decided that they could no longer live in Southern California and decided to pack us all up and move. My 3 stepbrothers went to go stay with their father in Northern California, and my sister and I went with my dad and my stepmom, a cat and a dog, a U-Haul, and a 1950 something Plymouth. And we traveled all the way up through California, Nevada, Idaho, into Canada, down the west coast of Washington, Oregon, and then Northern California, which is where we ended up in the early 70s and lived on a houseboat in Sausalito. And I had always moved nearly every year as a kid until we moved into a house in Marin County, and I lived there with my family for 7 years. And I always love to move. I love starting over. I love living in small spaces. I love having as little as possible. As I like to tell people, I don't even like to have a house plant to take care of. So the idea of getting a dog, which is an idea that I have, I go back and forth on because the responsibility and the care, but it would be nice to, have a living something with me that could keep me company and for protection as well. So I have been wanting to do this for a while, and when the pandemic happened, I did not get to shelter in place because I work at a hospital, but every time that working at a hospital, if you experience COVID symptoms, you would have to stay home. And I had come down with a really bad cold. I never got COVID, but I couldn't go to work with COVID symptoms. So I was at home for a while. I was watching YouTube videos, teaching myself how to crochet again, got into that, and then just started watching these van videos and became obsessed and thought this would be an incredible way to live. Just living minimally, moving all the time, living with as little as possible, making the smallest footprint possible. And I thought, how could I make this happen? I have a job, a great job, government, city and county job. Difficult to give that up, but at the same time, getting to work every day and dealing with the stresses of not just COVID, but the things that happen in a trauma hospital. And I just decided that it would probably be best to figure out, I don't want to say an exit strategy, but a plan for retiring and how I could make that happen, and then what were the next steps for me. And so I just started planning and plotting and figuring it out financially, logistically. And the closer I got to retirement, I started to figure out that I would not have to wait until I was 62, that I could actually do this now. Maybe not on a grand scheme, but maybe the way that I want to do it, the way that would work best for me. And although it may not make everyone happy, it will make me happy. And that's what I'm saying now, having I don't even have my rig yet. So this is a big step for me. I'm in the planning phases still, plotting it out. I did retire from my job, resign. And so as of this Friday, I'm no longer there anymore, which is scary and sad. I've been there for 10 years, a little over 10 years. It's not just a place to work. It is, these people are family to me. We've been through so much together, and I've come so far in 10 years. Everything about me has changed. My hair, where I live, who I live with, many, many things we'll get into later. But yeah, my relationship with my kids has changed for the better, I believe. And I'm just happier on a lot of respects, and I just want to keep doing that and not work myself into a position of being, just typical of getting more in debt, of buying things, of thinking what's going to make me happy is things and stuff, when really what makes me happy is people and relationships and connection, meaning. I'm a writer. I love to write. I've been writing the book of my life for a while now. And this is what I think would bring me the most satisfaction and the most happiness and the most adventure. And I love adventure. I love not knowing where I'm going particularly, or how it's all going to end. I love figuring stuff out as I go along, and I have been very fortunate and very lucky that for the most part things have ended up not too shabby for me. Maybe not perfect, but not too shabby. I can't complain too much. My life is pretty darn good that I can I'm 58 and fabulous. Do this now in my life is just pretty huge, and I'm like I said, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm excited, sad. I've been very emotional this past week, a lot of crying, a lot of looking around this room, and figuring out how I'm going to make this fit into an RV, and what I'm going to pack up and what I'm not. This behind me, this wall hanging, has a story, and I love it. And I want to figure out how to put that in the RV. I don't know how yet, but I love this thing. It's been with me for, I don't want to say how many years, but a very long time. I also have this over here, which is a painting that my grandson did when he was little. Got to take the ukulele that I'm still learning how to play. So, and there's many, many pictures around here of my family, memories, and places I've been, places I love. And so it'll be interesting to figure out like what I'm taking with me and what I'm not taking with me, and what I'm going to put in storage, because there are certain things I'm not willing to part with at this time. I know that for the most part I'll be living in the RV most of the time. So this is just my first video to answer a lot of questions that people may have. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments below, as they say. And it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and the notification button, as I like to say. And one of the reasons I'm starting this YouTube channel is that my friends and family and anybody else can follow along on this journey with me, see where it takes me, my good days, my bad days, the interesting people that I meet, and just the stories that people have to tell, and the stories that I'll have to tell, because there is a lot more to my story. Like I said, I'm writing a book. It's coming along. I'm getting more and more organized about it all the time. I don't anticipate actually leaving on this trip until December or January of 2023. So it's just beginning fall of 2022. And yeah, so I'm researching, you know, trying to learn as much as I can, making these videos, trying to get better at making videos, and getting better at being on camera. I've never done this before, and I hope that people come to this channel, find something that they like, and again, please feel free to leave a comment, and thank you for stopping by, listening to the beginning of my story, and I look forward to telling you more. Thank you.